Good morning, class 11 bar students. Now today I will continue the same chapter but other parts of it or other varieties of it. Now today, in before or previous video, I told up to the symmetry and number, according to the number of floral parts, what are the names of the flowers. Now today I will tell you about the estivation. Estivation is the arrangement or mode of arrangement of the floral parts. Either it is sepal or it is petal, along with the or respect to other parts, how they are arranged, or the arrangement of these floral parts respect to other floral parts is called as estivation. Estivation, both will be similar, either for petal or for the sepal. Estivation, first estivation is called as valvate. Not first, that means first I am going to teach you that valvate estivation. In valvate estivation, either calyx, that means sepals, or corolla, that means petals, all they are joined in the same plane. Yet they are free or they are joined, but they are present on the same plane, or you can say in the same radius. There will be no overlapping of their margins. Understood? So this is known as valvate estivation. Example is brassica, that means mustard flower. They have valvate estivation. Sepals also and petals also. In some flowers both become different. Does not necessary that everyone they have the same petals and sepals, but those who are in among these 3-4 estivations, all the floral parts are arranged in these estivations or in these varieties. Next is twisted. Children, twisted. In the twisted type of estivation, the parts of the floral parts or the parts of the flower, they are arranged in twisting manner, means one part will be inside and another part will be the outside. Just like in that hibiscus flower, children, I shown you here, already I have shown. See, parts of one flower is above, it is outside, and same petal have the another part is inside. Again, this petal is present outside and same petal or part of the petal is present inside. So this is the twisted estivation, when the margins of the floral part, one margin will be covered by the another margin of the another part. So estivation will form like the twisted or in the twisting manner. So see here, these are the either sepal or petal, whatever you can say. See here, one part is outside, one part is inside. Here one part is one margin is outside, one margin is inside. Here one margin is outside, one margin is inside. Here one margin is outside, here one margin is inside. The example is hibiscus. Now children, next type is called as imbricate. In that imbricate type of estivation, one floral part have both the margins inside. Please remember it. One floral part, either sepal or petal, doesn't matter. Both the margins are inside, that means overlapped by other. And one floral part or one petal or sepal, its margin always cover the others. That means both the margins are present outside to it. and rest 3 are in the twisted form. One margin is outside, one margin is inside. Here one margin is outside, one margin is inside. Here again one margin inside, one margin is outside. So imbricate is the special type of estivation. Please remember it. One floral part having both the margins inside and one floral part having both the margins outside, and rest other are in the twisted form. That means one is outside, another one is inside. So this is found in cassia. Cassia you have not seen here. Cassia flower. So these are the 3 varieties of estivation. One more estivation it is there. We can found in flower of Papilionaceae. Flower of Papilionaceae family, it means sweet pea, then pigeon pea, then bean, long bean, whatever. So it is known as vexillary. In vexillary, the biggest one or biggest petal of that flower is known as standard or vexillary. So the name is given vexillary also. Then next to it, these are inside to it. They are named as wings. This is standard or vexillary, and innermost 2 are joined with each other. This is known as keel petal, and this is the 4th type of estivation, and this estivation is named as vexillary. So these are the 4 types of estivation. Now children, we can see the adhesion of the androecium, or how the androecium are present attached with the parts of the flower. If the adhesion of stamens, if the stamens or anther are present along or attached with the petals, then name is given epipetalous. It means the stamens are joined or attached with the petals. Just like in hibiscus, you can't see that in a hibiscus they form the staminal tube, but in epipetalous, stamens are altogether remains joined with the petals. Then next is epiphyllous. Epiphyllous means stamens remains attached with the perianth, or you can say tepal. Then the flower is said to be, stamen is said to be epiphyllous. Then gynandrous. Gyn word is used for the gynoecium. So when stamens remains attached with the gynoecium, that is ovary, then this name is given gynandrous type of adhesion of stamen. Now example, epipetalous we can found in brinjal, epiphyllous we can found in lily flower, and gynandrous type of stamen we can found in calotropis. So these are the types of adhesion. Now children, adhesion and cohesion, do you know the difference? Adhesion means to attach. One is different one, another is the different one. When two different one will attach or join with each other, then it is called as adhesion. In physics you studied also that force of adhesion and force of cohesion. So adhesion, that means there will be the two different molecules which are attracted or joined with each other. Then it is force of adhesion. Here is also adhesion of stamens, and that is epipetalous adhesion of stamens here. Epipetalous along with the petals, epiphyllous along with the tepals or perianth, and gynandrous, it means along with the ovary. Now children, these are the figure for cohesion of stamens. So cohesion, just now I explained you, cohesion means the object remains same only. That means here the cohesion of stamen, that means all are the stamens, but they are present in the different form or by attaching or by joining with the other stamens in different form. That is the cohesion of stamens. So children, this is the monoadelphous, one staminal tube they form in hibiscus. This one, pink one. Pink tube is staminal tube. Once I told you, I am telling again that all the filaments of the anther will combine to form a staminal tube over the style. So all the anthers are joined in one group only. So this is known as monoadelphous. This one. This is number 1. This is number 1. Monoadelphous. Now, it is number 2. Number 2 is known as diadelphous. As children you know, di means 2. When the stamens are arranged or bundled in 2 sets or in 2 groups, then it is known as diadelphous. This is the structure which is drawn here. There are 9 stamens. They are grouped in one set and one stamen is free. So 9 plus 1. These are found in pea flower. In pea flower, stamens are diadelphous. It means the number of stamens are present in the 2 groups or 2 sets. This is number 2. Then number 3. Number 3 is named as polyadelphous. Polyadelphous, as the name suggests, or children you know, poly means free or different. So if it is polyadelphous, that means all the stamens are present in so many groups and they are free. This is polyadelphous, number 3, this one. Example is citrus fruit. This is polyadelphous. Now, fourth one. Syngenesious. According to figure, children, you can understand this is the style, this is the stigma, and these are the anthers which are present by joining all of them. They are present in a circular way and all the stamens are joined along with the full length of the stamens, only full length of the style, only stigma remains outside. That is known as syngenesious. This one. Syngenesious. Found in helianthus, or you can say sunflower. In the sunflower, there will be the syngenesious type of cohesion of stamens. And then the last one, that is number 5. Number 5 will be synandrous. Synandrous. As the name suggests, syn means joint, androus means all the stamens, that means anthers. So in the synandrous, all the stamens united or joined with each other through whole length, and filaments and anther, all these are joined along with each other, and there is no gap in between. So this is, we can found in, or you can write pumpkin. Pumpkin in Cucurbitaceae family, it belongs to Cucurbita family. They have this type of, this is the base and these are the anthers which join the total, or which cover the total style and stigma, and here the anthers and filaments both are joined to form a group, or you can say a knot-like structure, that is synandrous. So children, cohesion is over. Then now children, I have to teach you length of the stamen. According to the length of stamen, if suppose anthers are present, all are in the same length, then there will be no difference at all. So there will be no different names also. But if the stamens are present but they have some different length, then these stamens are named in their proper or in their different names. First is given didynamous. As children you know, didynamous or didynamous, if you will pronounce, let it be. But first di, not dy. Next one dy. So according to didynamous flower, there are 4 stamens. So didynamous flower have 4 stamens. 2 will be long and other 2 will be the short in length. That's why they have the different name, didynamous flower. And in the didynamous flower, there are 4 stamens, 2 long and 2 short. Example is basil. Yet the flower of the basil is so small, but if you will see with any aid, then you can see the height of the, the length of the stamen. Next one, tetradynamous. In tetradynamous, there are 4 stamens, and in tetradynamous there are 6 stamens, and as per their length, 4 will be long and in inner side and 2 are outside. Four long, those who are present inner side, and two stamens are short present outside. So there are the two types of stamens or name of the flower according to the length of the stamen, didynamous and tetradynamous. Now children, dehiscence of anther. As children you know, as according to human being also, it is very extrovert and it is very introvert. So there is also two types of dehiscence. One is extros and another one is intros. So dehiscence means when anthers are ripened. After ripening, when they burst, and after bursting they release some pollen grains. So when the anthers burst towards the outside, then these are known as extros type of anther, or the type of the dehiscence is extros. So it can send or it can throw the pollen grains in the wind, so it can pollinate to, or it can go, or it can move to another flower with the help of wind. Next one, intros. Intros means towards inside. So here in the type of intros dehiscence, the anther bursts towards the inside, and then these type of intros stamens are present, mostly those who have self-pollination or those who are present in the aquatic area, because whether they burst outside or they burst inside, the anther will be flown by the water. So that's why they have intros type of anther in that flower. So children, up to male part it is over. Now in the next video I will start the gynoecium. Till then, be happy and God bless you. Okay, thank you.